All right, y'all. As you know, Ronda Rousey is in the spotlight right now when she made some comments on the Steve O podcast recently. Now, this podcast was over an hour long, but I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to bore the audience. So I'm just going to play the part where she talks about WWE. All right, and here we go.
Who knows?
I love it. That makes so much sense. I'm actually embarrassed for making that point. So now, so you went into the WWE and you only did 1 year?
1 year from Mania to Mania.
And was that? I mean, you told me a little bit about this when we were walking your goats. That you are thinking about now. You and Travis want to have kids. It's too much to be traveling so much and working so much with the WWE that you really wanted to kind of take back your life so that you could have like a personal life and a quality of life. But that's got to be a pretty serious sacrifice, right? Like financially.
I mean, not really. Like, we try to think that we don't really do anything for purely money-related reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We try to reduce our expenses as much as possible because all of the money that we make is dependent on the mileage that we put on our bodies and how much of that do we have, So
right.
We invest our money not into having more shit that we have to pay to maintain, but in needing less. So the money that we made from fighting and wrestling and all this other stuff, we put into, okay, we're going to get water catchment and we're going to eliminate our water bill and we're going to get solar and we're going to eliminate our electric bill and we're going to pay house cash. So we're going to eliminate mortgage and we're going to, get a bunch of chickens and raise our own animals and start, our own vegetables and all this stuff. So we get to eliminate our grocery bill. And so instead of having to think in that mindset of what are we going to be able to do to be able to bring enough money to maintain our lifestyle?
Right.
Kind of how can we slim our lifestyle more and more and more down to take less and less and less to maintain so that the decisions that we make in our lifestyle are purely based on what makes us happy. That's what has to be done.
That is so inspiring. I honestly am legitimately jealous and inspired, and I want to tell you that I've gone on and on and on with my social media and everywhere, anyone who will listen and say, oh, my girl and I, we want to buy land and open up our own animal sanctuary. And we're so serious about this that even though we're engaged, we are waiting to get married. We've not even set a date because we want to get married on our land where we're going to have our animal sanctuary because that's our future. I got a vasectomy so that we know we're not going to have kids. We just don't want to have kids.
I'm a reverse vasectomy baby.
I'm not reversing it. I don't want to do it. But the point that I'm making here, and I want to really thank you for this, is that you have single-handedly changed my view of what the animal sanctuary represents to me. Because what you are doing with your property, which you call Rousey Acres, and everything that you just described with, catching the water and the solar and the growing the vegetables and the eggs and the animals, that to me makes so much more sense as really the ultimate purpose of our animal sanctuary. Sure, we want to save a bunch of animals, but to have it be just a self-sustainable, bill eliminating thing where it's yeah, come on down and hang out, but you're going to work, almost like a commune.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like work. It's really rewarding stuff that I actually want to spend my day doing this. And so it's kind of got to the point where we love it so much that it's like a tax to leave. You know, like,
Right.
I love the WWE. I have had such a great time. I love all the girls in the locker room. Like, hell yeah, like running out there, you know, and having like fake fights for fun is just the best thing, you know? Like, I love choreography. I love acting. I love theater. And it's live theater. And it's one of the last forms of live theater. And it's so fun. But it was like I was doing it basically part-time, and I was away from home over 200 days out of the year. And when I did get home, like I was so sleep deprived, like, because you just don't have time to lay down, and like my back's broke, so I am like coming home like
What do you mean your back's broke?
my bottom vertebrae is like broken in half. When they got me like appraised like a house before I came to the WWE, and they're like, yeah, your back's broke. And I'm like, oh shit. Didn't know that. That explains a lot. So I would be taking all these different kinds of bumps and stuff, and I would basically, when I was home, I would have to be laying on the bed with my legs elevated, the heat pack under my back, with like a Tempur-Pedic pillow under my neck, because I have degenerative disc disorder in my neck as well. So,
me too.
hey, high five!
Yeah.
So like I was like in this like recovery position whenever I was home. So I wasn't even home when I was home. I was basically just trying to recover enough to be able to get through the next stint of being gone. And like people think like, oh, you're only wrestling as much as you see you on TV, but they don't realize that there's like 3-4 other days of live shows during the week. So we're only home. Like if I did all of the live shows, I was only home a day and a half a week.
Man,
it was just like not worth it for my family, because we were eliminating all of our expenses and living in this lifestyle. We didn't need it. We didn't need the money. So it's just like, what am I doing it for if I am not being able to spend my time and my energy on my family, but instead spending my time on energy on a bunch of fucking ungrateful fans that don't even appreciate me. So I was like, man, like, and the thing is, like, I love performing, I love the girls, I love being out there, but at the end of the day, I was just like, fuck these fans, dude. My family loves me and they appreciate me, and I want all my energy to go into them.
I love it.
So that was my decision at the end of the day. It's like, hey, girls, love what you're doing. I'm going to try and like take all my momentum and push you guys as far as I can. Fly, little birds, fly. I'm going fucking home. That's basically it.
And so that's like it sounds pretty conclusive that you're not trying to go back.
Well, if I ever do come back, it will never be at a full-time capacity ever again.
Right. Like maybe come back for WrestleMania.
I think like for like stints, like chunks of time, you know, I'm very much like an obsessive person where I like to obsess over something for a certain time and then like kind of go take some time to obsess about something else. But no, I'm never to be full time again over 200 days a year on the road like that ever again, because it was, I needed to do it in order to learn and get like immersed into it and really understand what was going on. But it's just not the lifestyle for me.
Okay. You said that box.
All right. Now, after hearing that, and, you know, well, here's the thing. Ronda Rousey, you were already a star. Triple bitch and his corporate stank cunt wife picked you up in a private limo, took you to private dinner, signed you to a contract. Vince McMahon, you know, paid you several millions, and you say, you know, expenses you don't need, but you didn't need the money, but you needed those millions, and you got it, and you're still under contract technically. Which basically brings me to the other diva skanks who can't wrestle, who have taken issue with your comments. And the thing is, it's basically the F word, fake. Now, one diva said, yes, the end of the matches are scripted, but to say it's fake is kind of unfair. Now, and that comment comes from Alexa Piss. Now, I disagree with that. If the end is scripted, Isn't the beginning and everything in between scripted, much like the promos are scripted mostly? The skits are scripted. Now, scripted and fake are two different things, but I guess to my ears, they have a lot of similarities. But and to get comments from some of the divas who take issue with that, let's start with Lana, the so-called fake ravishing Russian who has long lost that really bad Russian accent. I have no words for her audacity to say fake fighting. If it's fake, why can't Paige and Tori Wilson, why can't they wrestle anymore? If it is fake, why couldn't Edge wrestle for 11 years? This is a contact sport where real things happen. Well, here's the thing, Lana. It's a contact sport. Basically, it's a trained stunt sport where accidents happen because people like you who can't wrestle, who are supposed to be trained to learn these moves, not to fuck it up or to hurt someone else, actually end up botching moves, henceforth, which causes the accidents. You might have heard of an accident. So that's why people get injured. That's why Edge was injured, because, of course, as Ronda said, the mileage on his body over the years, taking all those bumps, is what fucked up his neck. That's why he couldn't wrestle for 11 years. Like I said, it's a scripted stunt. It's a trained stunt. But at the end of the day, the same people who you see fighting chairs, steel chairs, candlesticks, or whatever, they're people see them as friends outside the business. They go out and have a beer. They laugh and chuck it up. That's why, for the most part, it's fake in a sense where, like I said, it's a fake conflict. It's fake animosity. You're telling a fictional story of good versus evil, basically. And of course, now the moves are scripted, basically. But if people didn't botch those scripted moves, they wouldn't get hurt. But that's the risk, because Bret the Hitman Hart, who wrestled for a long time, to my knowledge, he's never hurt anyone in the ring. But of course, he was a perfectionist. He came from a wrestling family. People like Lana, Alexa Bliss, and even don't come from wrestling families. Which brings me to this other video footage here, which comes from Paige's own Twitch TV. That's the source of this video footage. And as you can see, we have Paige who's hosting. You have Renee Young, Natty Neidhart, Nia Jax, of course, herself, and both the Iconics who have disappeared off TV. And I'm surprised they still have a job. But they must. And this is, and I don't know if Paige meant for the fans to see this, because I went to her Twitch account and this particular footage is no longer on her account. So I'm thinking this is something or a conversation that Paige and the other divas didn't want anybody to hear. But I'm going to play this this audio, and it's Nia Jax talking about somebody who was injuring Alexa Bliss almost every night. And fans figured out it might have been Ronda Rousey. Let's give a listen.
Speaking of Natty saying a backbone, I remember back when, I'm not going to mention any names, but Lexi, other than Lexi's name, she's not on right now. Other than Lexi's name. But when Lexi was in, she was working at an angle, and she was continuously getting hurt in a certain angle with somebody. And I remember her not saying anything, specifically because she wanted to be a team player. Like, she was so nervous. She wanted to be a team player. She didn't want to be somebody who I can't do this. But me personally, from the outside looking in, I was so angry. I was like, no. Mm-hmm. I was like, she cannot do this anymore. I personally would not allow her to get back in the ring to get hurt again. Yeah. I had to go to the people, to the higher ups, and I had to put down, a stern foot and said, listen, Lexi is 5'0", 100 pounds, getting thrown around like a little rag doll and injured every night. I was like, put me in. I'm a 6 foot, 300 pound bitch. I can handle it. But So I understand, like, there's a certain thing of like being quiet and taking it and being like, no, I want to be a team player, and then there's another side where it's like, shit, dude, I can't allow to see one of my good friends, not only my good friends, but my coworker, who I want to be here in 5 years so I can continue to work her,
right,
like getting hurt. Like, I need to stand up and freaking be there for her and make sure that, you know, she's gonna be like, her livelihood's gonna be okay when she's done here.
And it's also like really.
All right. Now, first of all, Nia Jax, you can't put a stern foot down on anyone in WWE, especially the boss or officials, because they give the orders, and no one cares that you're The Rock's cousin. Now, secondly, that's a really good political stance you're taking up for your friend. But considering how many people you've injured in the ring, at least 4 or 5, and let's not forget that right hand to Becky Lynch's nose when you broke her face and her nose at the same time. See, Bret Hart would tell you you're supposed to pull your punches. See, the illusion is you punch without leaving a bruise. But of course, we all know you and others can't do that. And that's what you did. You literally broke Becky Lynch's face. So you need to shut the hell up. And you're right. I agree with you on one thing. You're a 6 foot, 300-pound bitch. I was leaning towards more 400 pounds, but I was close. I was 100 pounds off. Oh, and on a side note, please stop taking posing in sexy lingerie. I think a lot of people who, you know, browse the internet while they're eating dinner, they might come across that and might lose their appetite or might not want their food anymore. So, you know, just you know, you need to cool it with that. But as far as what you said there, which is contradictory to what you have done, you know, I would think before you speak and think about who you've injured in the ring. So I wouldn't talk. Now, as far as Alexa Bliss goes, one of her comments was, one of her retorts was, there's a series on the network, of course, called Chronicle, because she was out, I think, almost 11 months to a year due to being injured. And on her Twitter, one of it says, was out for almost a year. Must have been fake. It's called Year of Uncertainty. So right there, again, Alexa Bliss out for a year because you and your coworkers botch up your scripted trained moves that you're supposed to be trained and know how to do. See, if you're trained but you still can't perform the moves without fucking them up, then maybe wrestling isn't for women like you. You know, not to say wrestling is not for women, you know, because there are good women wrestlers out there who know how to do this without injuring themselves and injuring somebody else. So see, that's the difference. And then the rest of her retort was, this is scripted. It's really unfair to call this fake. Oh, here it is. The quote is, Bliss stated that she and Rousey have always gotten along, and she has a lot of respect for Rousey's accomplishments. She praised her for what she's been through and brought up how she's been a supporter of Rousey. It was just the use of the word fake, especially because we welcomed Ronda with open arms. We all wanted to see her succeed, and whenever we would have a match, we would respect her UFC background and respect how she did certain things. Bliss also stated that the whole roster wanted to make an amazing story with amazing matches while meshing both styles of WWE and UFC together. Well, you can't mesh real fighting with scripted fighting. I don't think it works. It says, but with that, we had a whole documentary based on my concussions and how I didn't know if I was ever going to be medically cleared. The thing is, you know, you're only as good as the person you're in the ring with. And that's a true statement, you know, because Bret Hart has said something along the same lines. When you kind of bash the fans who were always really supportive and say what we do is fake, it's kind of disrespectful when we were so respectful of what she did coming in, and we were respectful of her in WWE. Everyone was willing to help her succeed. You know, she did a lot for us, but we also did a lot for her. A lot of bodies laid on the path she walked on. So to say what we do is fake is really unfair. Yes, the finish is scripted. I believe the finish, the beginning, and everything in the middle is scripted. We say that. It's protagonist, antagonist, and conflict resolution. It's a story we're telling. My whole thing is, if she comes back to WWE, great. We would all love to work with her again. I'm sure. Just limit the use of the F word. Okay, now, if Ronda Rousey were to come back, Nia already stated on Twitter that if she got in the ring with Ronda, she wouldn't care if she was ordered to make her look good or ordered, to lose. She said she would knock Ronda the fuck out and hashtag test me, bitch. Okay. Well, I actually would pay to see that. I mean, that's just me. Also, Ronda Rousey has fired back at all this criticism, and with this statement: hashtag kayfabe killer. Anyone who is outraged by me calling pro wrestling fake fights for fun has never been in a real fight. While you all are tiptoeing around bruising some pro wrestlers' huge soft egos, no one is thinking about all the real fighters you're insulting when pretending pro wrestling is somehow on the same level of realism. Yes, I understand wrestling 300 days a year for years on end is incredibly tough on the body and a difficult profession. But do you know what would happen if you got in 300 real fights in a year? You would be dead. And also, she quoted a comment from the Hulkster, along with the footage of her beating up a Hulk Hogan buddy. Okay, you know what, Ronda? We get it. So see, the conflict between these two stories is, basically, Ronda Rousey, you became a star in UFC and you crossed over into something that you were a fan of, but after a year of doing it, now you've decided it wasn't for you, and now on to calling fans ungrateful. To me, Ronda, this stems from your own soft ego, which is really soft, and also it comes from when you lost your last two UFC fights, Holly Holmes and then Amanda Nunes, and I don't think you really healed mentally from those two losses. Like, you haven't really dealt with them. So, but you're talking about now scripted fighting, what you called theater and et cetera, et cetera. Here's something about the wrestling fans. When you first came on, it was hoopla and excitement. But as you should have known, as time goes on, fans are going to get bored. It's like, maybe you were out your welcome or you were a flavor of the month like everybody else, and it's happened to Becky Lynch and countless others. The fans just get tired of them. They get annoyed at the same bullshit. It's like, yeah, you're the underdog, but now that you're on top and you're the hero, you changed. So, and we're tired of the shit, tired of hearing your mouth, tired of seeing you. Let's give someone else the title. Let's move on. That's how wrestling fans of this era today are. Now, maybe you can't live with that, and of course no one feels sorry for you. But like I said, you came in, basically had the royal red carpet Queen of Sheba treatment from WWE. You basically stepped over every woman on the roster who's basically supposed to be trained homegrown talent, and you got a title shot. Didn't go to NXT. Didn't really pay any dues. You're Ronda Rousey, a star, and you got star treatment, which I thought from Jump Street was unfair. So, and any wrestler or any wrestling fan would think that's unfair, but see, no one thinks about that. It's Ronda Rousey. She's a star. She's in WWE. She's wearing a Hot Rod Rowdy Ronda Rousey shirt based on the design of, the late Hall of Famer Roddy Piper. And as I understand, you knew Roddy Piper, and he gave you that jacket. But for you to make these comments, you don't deserve that jacket anymore. you need to give that jacket back to Piper's estate or to his son or his daughter, you know. And I'm pretty sure if Piper were alive right now, you know, he'd be very disappointed at your attitude. And I'm pretty sure he's rolling over in his grave even now. So all in all, as far as this situation goes, you know, hey Ronda, like I said, don't go back to wrestling. And personally, you should have never come into WWE in the first place if that was your attitude all along. But in all seriousness, I'm just maybe, I'm not saying I believe this, but just maybe, my homeboy in the PW Hustle, a shout out to the PW Hustle, the glorious, the effervescent, the scholarly, the magnanimous, also I call the wise, Chabelo Cruz. He might be right. Ever since this podcast and Ronda made these comments, she's become relevant in the wrestling world again, and has made these other divas relevant, and has gotten everyone talking. This could be a work. I mean, I don't think so, but it could be work. And if it is, this is genius. And of course, you know, that's just my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.